All right, all right. What is up, guys? Oh, let me fix my camera right here. Good to be back. Missed you guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for everyone who reached out. And yes, I am in my new house with my new workstation. Your dreams are fucking possible. Just stick with it day after day, no matter what gets in the way. The obstacle is truly the way. You got to take those L's with class, baby. Your W's are never going to define you. Your L's are going to give you the biggest level up. The world doesn't give a shit about your excuses. It just wants to know if you're ready to level up. You're not going to be ready for more until you can deal with less. Anyways, enough on my rant. Great day of trading today. Just kind of getting in the market. Took a little month off. Not a month, but it took about a couple weeks off. The move, getting all this stuff, buying furniture, setting up my stuff, coming back from a big hack. That was a big one. But we're rolling straight through. Today was a great day of trading. Today we had a little live session with the crew, and we did. In the morning, it was just, I felt it, that dip and rip on Bitcoin. Here it is. I called it out around this was after the trade. This was two successful trades planned, waited, and we executed. We did take the short on Rave. And Rave has been a little bit wonky since then. We are currently ranging. We're going to go over that. And we did take the Bitcoin long, and that trade is killing it right now. Let's look at that from entry. Let's go on over here to this, and let's look at a little Bitcoin. Boom. Right? And our entry was... Oh, come on. All right, well... TradingView's thinking about it, but our entry was, there it is right down there. We did wait, right? We came down, down, down. We hit that naked daily point of control, and ever since then, it's just been off to the races. So we took the short on the shit-ass altcoin that was pumping, and we took the long on Bitcoin. That's up about 3.45%. I took this trade at 10x. And really, this next 6 months for me, and I hope you'll join me, is going to be all about not really scaling, but about consistency. We're going to be doing a lot more live trading in the group. We're going to be doing a lot more educational content on this channel. And I want to tell you in advance that really what my purpose is, and the whole reason why I got into this, was I was always looking for somebody when I was trading. I was looking for someone to give me this. I was looking for someone to teach me that. And I always found that all those mentors that I was searching for and teaching, they all came at a cost. Some of them were complete bullshit. Some of them were flawed people. Some of them didn't really want to grow. And so at a certain point, I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to become who I always needed. And so hopefully if you found this channel and you want to learn about trading, you want to learn about mastery, then you will tune in, because this is going to be the place where I can really save you time. And this place isn't about sounding smart or doing a bunch of complex shit just to bump up an ego or get likes. I really don't give a shit about likes. I've got the next couple years handled in a beautiful house with a beautiful daughter. I don't care about all that. What I really care about is giving you actionable information that can increase your profits, that can increase your knowledge, that can increase your confidence. And I really believe that I can do that. I really believe that that is my gift, and that is what I'm here to do. And so for the next 6 months, that's what I'm doing full time. So let's talk a little bit about the news. Let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Let's talk a little bit about everything. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. All right, so let's talk about crypto market, right, of the day. We just want to look, and we see that the top 100 to 200 coins saw a little bit of a pump. We're going to look at those coins here, right? 82% on MYX Finance, right? So I want to let you know that we are shorting actively all of these shit coins. If you haven't guessed it by now, this is your first time in the crypto industry, these things are all fucking vaporware, right? It doesn't mean that you have to stay away from them. It means that you have to know how to trade them, actively trade them. I want to take you to the short that we did today. So today, let's talk about this Rav, it doesn't really matter, right? So we're going to take off all this stuff and we're going to talk about the short position that was taken here today. So really, all that we did, right? And this is actionable everywhere. We just went to the monthly. Now, as you can see here, what do you see when it comes to the monthly candles? Up, down, up. All right. So one of the first things I did is I blasted out this monthly resistance, right? And then I came on down here to the weekly. I'm looking for a weekly zone. Got a little weekly zone right there, right? Let's put a little weekly on it. Weekly resistance. Come on, get there. Weekly resistance. And here we've got monthly resistance, but that monthly resistance didn't act as resistance. So we want to see if it's going to act as support. Then we go on here to the daily, and we can see that we've got a little bit of a liquidity zone here at this monthly resistance. What do you see right here? You see just this supply demand flip zone. So for me, this today was all about this. I wanted to see get right above here. If we can get above there and get that liquidity, it's either going to be a fast rejection or a slow acceptance, or what is called a failed auction. So when I first traded this, right, so the nice SFP, I took this short. I took a little bit off the table, but ultimately my target was here at this monthly level. I wanted to see what that monthly level had to offer. But, you know, trades develop. We came on down, we started to form a little bit of a flag, and a flag is a continuation pattern. But for me, when I'm in a trade, that's it. I'm in the trade. I don't second guess it. I have my plan. I trade my plan. I had my invalidation. I put my stop loss. Price did come up, but it didn't take out my stop loss, right? I gave myself a little bit of a buffer. But in the end, I knew that if price came up here, it really had no reason to come way up there. If it's coming up there, it's searching for something more. So I gave myself a little bit of a buffer. We did come down, and I'm still in this trade. I will still be in this trade until I get stopped out or until I hit my target zone here. I did pull a little fixed range profile here on the upswing, right? Pull a little bit from the top, from the bottom to the top, and I want to see where the value areas are. Those are the most important things for me, are the value areas. So you can see we're trading in a little bit of a range. Another thing that I did was I anchored a VWAP from where we really got impulsive, right down here at the bottom. We started to get impulsive here, and as you can see here, so what do you start to notice? You start to notice that we are just kind of ranging. We are respecting the point of control, right? When we did tap that anchored VWAP, we did see a little bit of an upswing, value area high, but the market has to travel in a direction, right? Either we're going up, we're going down, or we're going sideways. When we're going sideways, we're looking at the volume. Is the volume increasing or is it decreasing? What's the CVD doing? Is there a tell in the direction of what the aggressive people in the market are doing? All of this, come on in, join the Discord. We go over this stuff every week, every weekend. We're having regular classes on how to read the market and how to really increase profitability and just really have that confidence in the market. You know, I have a lot of people that tell me, Brian, you know, can I just give you some money and you trade it for me? And I tell them, hell no. I've worked years at studying this craft. I'm not going to do it for you. That's going to just add pressure to me. And really, you can learn this stuff. And it's very advantageous for you to learn this stuff. So anyways, where I'm at with this rave trade, well, I mean, either we are going to start taking out some highs and this market structure is going to start climbing, or we're going to lose this anchored VWAP. And in that case, we have trailed sideways. So if we did lose that to the downside, what did we do? We built up some resistance. And then I'll hold on to that trade. I do have a take profit one here. You know, and we'll just see how that goes. I'll leave a little bit of a runner. All right, so now let's talk about Bitcoin. Big Daddy Bitcoin. One of the first things that I always like to do when I'm reviewing context is I like to see what are we trading away from. So we're going to come on here to the 4 hour. So what is the current context of Bitcoin? Let's get rid of all the TA, right? You just have to really learn to look at it and know what is it doing. So as you can see in our current state, we have made a big move to the downside. right? Real simple. We hit our all-time high, right? We started forming a market structure that was going down. We did a little bit of a flag. That flag broke to the downside. Now we're putting in a little bit of a triangle, right? A triangle is ultimately a continuation pattern. But for me, because we've had weeks and weeks and weeks of downside, and we did hit some valid support here, I'm looking for a short, but I'm only looking for a short if we can come up to the upside. So I did a couple videos on this, but I wasn't able to upload them. So what am I currently looking at? So let me bring back. So I have my high time frame levels. Boom. Here's my daily levels. I have some naked points of control. And then I'm going to bring in my local range. But first, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I did catch the long, which is great. Now I'm going to bring in my range. One of the most best things that you can start to do in trading is start to identify, where am I at in this auction? Zoom out and look at the bigger picture, and then zoom in and find the zones of decision. So for me right now, the next zone where I will have to make a decision is this point of control on this daily level. Now, also, if I take this last high here, and you can see I got that point of control that's right on that daily level. If I take this last high and I pull a Fibonacci, right, and I come down to the bottom here, bam, I've got a golden pocket, daily level, and a range point of control. This is a very confluent level. So why am I not super stoked about this trade? Well, the reason why is because this trade doesn't really take any liquidity. In trading, one of the things that you should always be looking for is an asymmetric risk zone. You want to look for those zones where people are really going to be forced into a decision. Typically, this is at the lows and at the highs, or some kind of liquidity level, right? Some kind of highs and lows. Right here, we do have a set of equal highs, right? Right here. So if the market did come up here and it did flip those highs, bump into some resistance, maybe an SFP or maybe a low time frame market structure change, is this a big enough resistance to take a short and really see a nice swing short? It's definitely probably a scalp short, but is it really a nice swing short? Because what is the market structure telling us? The language of the candles. You have to really be able to read this, right? You can throw up all the fucking fancy tools you want, but if you just can't look at the market and say, what is the market telling me? Right now it's saying low, low, higher low, higher low, high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So that is a triangle. Ultimately, a triangle is a continuation period. But really what we look for in this type of triangle is we're looking for a big zone of resistance. And this is offering up a nice zone of resistance. It's backed up by volume, right? It's backed up by confluence. It's got technical confluence. It's got daily resistance. It's got a little small range point of control. But is it enough to really fake out? Because if you can see here, we do have our triangle. So that is where we go, tap, back test, and continuation. This is a definite possibility. Trading isn't about marrying your bias. It's about creating scenarios, different scenarios, a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. So we're going to zoom out a little bit and we're going to create the bullish scenario. So the bullish scenario right now was really to catch the long from right there, right? So let's say you're not in any longs. Where would be the next place you want to take a long? So I'm going to zoom on out here to the daily. And I'm really going to zoom out. First off, you know what? I'm going to get rid of a lot of this stuff. All right. So I just want to give you my honest outlook on Bitcoin. So we're looking at years of Bitcoin here. And really what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a big long time channel. I can see the middle of the channel is very much respected, right? And this is, I'm not predicting. I'm not like these guys who come on here and say, Bitcoin's going to do this, it's going to do that. I have no idea what it's going to do. And if anybody tells you they do know what it's going to do, they're probably trying to sell you something. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm telling you that this is a respected channel. This is a long time respected channel. So what do we know about a channel? What matters in a channel? Well, we have the highs, the 50%, and the lows. Everything else in a channel, really, if you're trading a channel, is noise. So then if I take all of my fixed range volume over this whole history and I say, what does the participation look like over the entire history of this? And what do I have? I have this channel, 50% line, and the point of control for the last 6 years of Bitcoin, and I have a continuation pattern to the downside. So my next big zone where I'm looking to go big is right here. I'm looking for that here. I mean, maybe even I'll pull a little, let's see what a fib looks like from the FTX low to the high. And I do have a golden pocket right there, right? So what does that look like? Maybe a little upswing up and then an SFP sweep, reclaim, and then get out of this value area really quick? Possibly. If not, what does it look like? Well, if not, I'm seeing here that if we lose the point of control, the most likely scenario is the value area low. I heard an interesting perspective is that, Brian, are we going to see a $30,000 Bitcoin? And this one person was telling me, hey, all it takes is MicroStrategy to start dumping off, scaring a bunch of people, and this could definitely go to the lows. So we got a decision zone here. I'll be waiting here. So that's my next long zone. Let's talk about the next short. Well, this is my next long-term hold long. Now, let's get rid of this and let's talk about the next short position. All right, we're going to get rid of some of this stuff. Get rid of this global range. And we're going to cancel out our triangle. I just have to work with a clean chart. Sorry, excuse me. All right. So yeah, get rid of that rectangle. So now let's talk about the next short, right? So one of the first things we want to do is we want to identify where we're at in the range. We are currently at the point of control, right? The point of control of this entire range. We got a value area low. That value area low is anywhere near that other point of control? A little bit, right? There's that point of control of the big global range, right? And that is also our Fibonacci zone. So you see how we're just creating scenarios based on technical analysis tools as well as volume. So you can see here, got a nice golden pocket right there at that point of control. I mean, just beautiful. Everything is adding up there. Does that mean we're just going to blindly long there? No, we're going to wait for the right reaction. Value area low, point of control, golden pocket. Now let's talk about this short. So what do I want to see for a short? One of the first things that I want to do for a short is I'd like to take this downtrend and I want to pull a little bit of a fixed range. I'm going to go on a little bit of a lower volume here, and I want to see from the high to the low. All right, so I've got my value area that's up here around 77,000. I want to check my naked points of control, and I can see that I do have a naked weekly point of control that stacks up right around there. Now, I want to anchor a VWAP from up here at this last high before we hit the lows. And I can see also that that anchored VWAP is everything's kind of stacking up right around there. So I would very much like to see a short there. And then this also would be fitting of this scenario. Boom, 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 boom. And then maybe we might see something like this, a reversal pattern there. So that's that. But I'm currently in a long. My next big swing short is right around here, right around the $76,000 area to the $78,000 area. And for my short-term scalp play, which I will probably be doing live tomorrow, I am going to be looking at this local range point of control with the daily level. And the reason why I can comfortably take that short if it presents itself is because I'm already in the long. All right, let's look at the trading calendar and see what's going on for tomorrow. See if anything big on the news. Thursday news, Friday. Let's go here to the America. Core price index month over month, GDP growth rate, quarter over quarter, personal income. Okay, so these are coming in before the market opens. These are at 5:30 a.m. So this is going to be a little bit of volatility before the market opens, right? GDP, PCE, core PCE. These are some market movers. Tomorrow could be a good day, right? What do we know about Fridays? Fade Fridays. Or we might come into the weekend strong. So what does that tell us? Show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. We did find a nice low and we are moving away from a nice low and we are approaching some decent resistance. So what does that tell you? That tells you most likely I'm comfortably seated in my long and we're going to come on up here and test this resistance. Whether that be a rejection and a move to the downside, I don't know. It could be fitting of a Friday. We'll see what we get here, right? For this trade, I would look for my entry trigger to be something like this. Right? Point of control, I would either look for this to maybe come, do a little test, change in market structure, take it to the downside. If I have an invalidation, I will take that trade. Another scenario that I will be looking for, which definitely can happen, is just flip that and just keep on going. I'll look for the value area high in that sense, and then I'll start to introduce some, all right, got a little naked point of control here, naked point of control here, but not really much resistance or anything here. And then I will be looking up to this area for the reversal pattern, right? Just come on up here, bam, boom, boom, or maybe put in a little bit of a range, SFP, come on down. And ultimately, if we did flip this and, if we did flip this and turn this into support, I would say that would be some very serious strength. That would be a very strong move for Bitcoin if it did that. All right, let's look at the ES. ES had a decent day, and really what it was coming up on the heels of a range point of control. We found some support on the range point of control. It was kind of a wishy-washy day, not much volume. NQ, same deal, right? Fixed range volume, boom. Outside of the value area low, we aren't taking out any real significant lows, right? But we did take out a low here and we had a nice day to the upside. We finished wiggling sideways. So tomorrow, the market might be more prone to risk on or risk off. We'll see. But I can definitely tell that that's why today was a little bit low volume because we've got a lot of news tomorrow. So anyways, guys, good to be back. We're going to get into the swing of things. Lots of good stuff coming over the next 6 months. Don't scale up right now. Your job right now is consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Biology is going to trump your bitch ass desires to just dump on in there in the market. It will come over time. Over time, you will be in that badass beach house like I am right now. I fucking promise you. All right. I'll see you guys next time. See you tomorrow. Later.